Hey physics class, this is a video 4 and probably the last video that you're going to need for your kinematics questions that'll come out right away. Last video I talked about how to understand the variables that you could get from the question. So when we look at a question, how do we actually get the variables from it? This one I'm just actually going to go through the actual questions, answer them, and kind of show how I'd use the formula and use the algebra around it. So here we go, let's try this out. And here should be our questions. Alright, so question number 1. Let's move this down a little, that way I got a little bit of room to play with. There we go. So again, this question says Ty is walking along down the hallway, okay, so basically sped up from 1.2 to 6.8 and an acceleration of 0.8 meters per second squared, and we're looking for time, okay? So I don't need distance right now. So when I look at this, what formula? I'm going to pick the one that does not have a distance, but happens to be this one here. So I'm going to use this formula right here. Acceleration equals Vf minus Vi over t. All right, let's plug this in now. Let's plug my numbers in where they should go. So 0.8 equals 6.8 minus 1.2 over time. That's what I'm going to try to do right now. Now you could algebraically move this all over right now and just get time over here and stuff. I'm just going to keep going until I can kind of get like one little number at each spot. So I'm going to do this first. 0.8 equals 5.6 over time. Now I kind of have to move it. Again, hopefully you remember this trick from last year. If you only have one variable here and an unknown here, you can flip and switch them. So time equals 5.6 over 0.8 and should get an answer of 7 seconds. 7 seconds. So it took basically Ty 7 seconds to get to that new speed that he was looking for. All right, so hopefully question 1, pretty easy. Let's go to question 2 here, answer this one out. Each one gets a little more interesting with our algebra and how to do it, so let's go through each one. Okay, new question. Lance wants to see how high he can throw a rock. Okay, if he throws a rock up with a velocity of 26, that's our VI. How high is that for 2 seconds? Okay, I'm looking for our distance. Again, we have an acceleration that's going to be hurting, so 9.8 meters per second squared. That's gravity. It's hurting when he's throwing it straight up. So what formula I'm going to use here? One that does not have VF. So I think I actually told you the wrong actual formula in the last one video, but I'm going to use the right one. I'm going to use this very, very bottom one that has no VF. Okay. So our distance equals VIT plus 1/2 AT squared. So I'm actually looking for the distance, which is nice. And I'm going to go 26 multiplied by 2 plus 1/2 negative 9.8 2 squared. All right, so this turns into 52 plus, if I do all of this, like this is 4, okay, this is negative. If I put it all together, basically I should get negative 19.6. Okay, in brackets, negative 19.6. So 52 plus negative 19.6, basically it's just 52 minus 19.6. I get an answer, a distance of 36.4 meters. 36.4 meters. Okay, so that's how to break this down and go through this question. So not too much algebra. The nice thing is what we were trying to find was right there. All right. If you guys have any questions at any point, let me know. Just message me. Hey, Miss Westwood, I don't get how you did question number 2 on that video. Yeah, let me know. Question 3. All right, Emma is on a hot air balloon ride with Haley, and they see Alex on the ground. They decide to drop Survey, so a distance of 98 meters. Okay, they dropped it, which means a VI of 0. Okay, they're trying to find the VF. Acceleration is helping this time because they're dropping down, so it's increasing the speed. So that is going to be a positive acceleration. All right, so now I'm going to use this VF squared, VI squared formula. Okay, so this is the formula I'm going to use because I don't have time, so that's the one formula that does not have time. VF squared plus 2AD. Okay, I'm looking for my VF. So VF squared, though, equals 0 squared plus 2. Acceleration is 9.8. Distance is 98. Okay, so this is obviously just 0, so I'm going to forget about it. And when I go 2 times 9.8 times 90, it gives me a decently big number, 1,920.8. Okay, please remember there is a squared here, so to get rid of that, just square root it. Okay, so square root. Our VF is going to equal something like 43.8 meters per second. So that's honestly, the Slurpee hits you that fast, that's pretty hard. If I times this by 3 to get my kilometers per hour, it's 120, 130 kilometers per hour. So it's a serious speed of a Slurpee there. So, but there's our question there. There's how to kind of get our actual final answer. Okay, on to our last question that's going to have a little more moving around pieces for our algebra. But question 4. Mr. Westwood throws the ball straight up in the air with a velocity of 25 meters per second. So VI, 25 meters per second. Again, I'm throwing something up in the air. Acceleration is negative 9.8 meters per second squared. Okay, how high does the ball go? Well, our distance is our unknown. Okay, and then if you remember from the last one, again, when you get to a max height, when you're looking at that max height, our VF at the top is 0. So that's what we're going to be able to do there. So again, I have no time, so same formula. But this time, I'm looking for something a little different. So, still same formula. VI squared plus 2AG. But now I'm not looking for VF. I have my VF of 0 squared equals 25 squared plus 2, negative 9.8. I'm looking for my distance still. Okay? So, what is 0 squared? It's still 0. 25 squared, 625 plus, I'm going to put these two together right now. So negative 19.6. And there's still a d attached to this. Okay, this is still multiplied. So be careful, you can't just minus this out of them. Those are multiplied, so you can't just do that. So let's move this over first, this 625, to actually get a value over here. So minus, it's a positive 625. So we're minus 625 to get that over. So minus 625, cancel out. I got negative 625 equals negative 19.6, still in brackets, attached to d, so now I can divide by negative 19.6. Okay, a lot of people accidentally move this over and have it as a positive, and then this is a negative, which means that their distance becomes a negative. Like, how do I throw a football up and have it go below me? It doesn't usually work that way, so make sure that these negatives nicely should cancel out now. So divided by negative 19.6. So what is my distance? These cancel out. My distance is going to answer whatever that is. So when I go negative 625 divided by negative 19.6, I get an answer of 31.89 meters. So basically the football, when it reached its very max height, was at 31.98 meters, 0.89 meters, and then started to fall back down. Okay, so a little more algebra, a little more moving when we had this kind of question. All right. Hopefully those 4 make sense. I'm going to make sure I put this document into the full file folder so you can see these 4 questions and maybe try them on your own or make sure they make sense. I might also as well put one just practically without an answer key. That way maybe you can try them first and then I'll put up an answer key, because basically all the stuff that you have in there already has an answer key. And so again, what I'd suggest is even if you see the answer keys, try a few questions first, then do the answer key. All right, your assignment will be up by Wednesday, and then I'll see you guys all on Thursday and Friday. Hope you have a great start to the week, and I'll see you guys soon. Okay, let's do this. Now we're good.